So for those of us that lived through COVID, we all should know that actually we're not really free in the West at all. And what surprises me is even COVID was great for waking a whole bunch of people up to the fact that there's a bunch of stuff wrong with what we're being told by mainstream media and governments. That woke people up, COVID did, but not everybody. And surprisingly enough, even the people that it woke up are still out there promoting democracy and, promoting the idea that we're all free and that we run our governments and that it's a government by the people, for the people. And you know what I'm saying? But that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. And I was one of those people. Look, like I said, I just recently decided after seeing that Trump hasn't done half the shit he said he was going to do and done the other half of shit he said he wasn't ever going to do. He's done that too. And I don't know. I kind of lost interest in politics as a whole, to be honest. And so, no, I don't. I no longer believe that voting really matters. It doesn't matter who you vote for. It doesn't matter who gets in office. Because in the end, you're choosing people in this system. You're choosing people to rule over you. And they don't have any guardrails. And there's no consequences for when they make the wrong ruling over your life. You see what I'm saying? So I don't want to any longer participate in that system. And it's my job with every video or audio I put out from here on out. It's my job to radicalize every last one of you people into my way of thinking. And that is that we are not free. We don't live in democracies. And if we ever want to really be free, we're going to have to take it, right? We're going to have to take our freedom. And whether that means a change in the system or, or in the end, maybe like Civil War type situations. I hope it doesn't come to that, but it is looking that way in a lot of countries, that it is going to come to that. And maybe that's what's necessary. You know what I mean? I don't know. All I know is I don't want to participate in this system anymore. And I don't want to hear any more shit from people talking about how free we are and how lucky we are to be living under these benevolent tyrants that rule over our very existence. No, I don't want to participate in that. I don't believe in that system anymore, and I'm no longer going to promote it. And it surprises me, actually, looking back now, how many people that, big podcasters and shit that I used to watch, well, I still watch them, but it is getting more difficult, that they lived through COVID, spoke out against everything from mandates to vaccines to censorship. And yet, now that COVID's over, they're acting like, oh, we live in this, now that COVID's gone, we live in this amazingly free society that's full of democracy and values and checks and balances and all this shit. That is obviously, if you look through your eyes, that is obviously complete bullshit, right? My last hope was in Trump. I was like, okay, if Trump can actually make the changes, drain the swamp, you know what I'm saying? Take the corruption away from politics a little bit in America. If he even makes a dent in it, it would be awesome. And then that's the kind of politician I would support. But I see now that he isn't doing any of that shit. Either he can't or he won't. And so it doesn't really matter, does it? It doesn't really matter who's in office. Those people rule over us, and they're going to do whatever the fuck they want to do with our money at the point of a gun. That's not the system that I would call free. Now let's go back in time for a second to COVID, okay? During COVID, they willingly lied to the population. First of all, it's so strange. For the first time in my 49 years on the planet, something happened which all Western governments, suddenly, all Western countries were suddenly, on the same page. And weird how that is, how it works, that they're suddenly on the same page when it comes to oppressing the regular population, right? Then they're all of a sudden agree, oh, that's a great idea. Let's lock these motherfuckers down. Let's take away their businesses and make them go bankrupt. And let's make sure that as many elderly people die as possible from this thing, so that, maybe we don't have to pay out pensions or, Social Security or shit like that. I don't know. what their motive behind it was, but they totally fucked us over by, you can't go outside, your kids can't go to school, you gotta wear a mask. All of these things go against every fundamental idea of being an autonomous person. I want to be free. I don't want a government telling me I have to wear a fucking mask or take some sort of crazy fucking shot. Remember, some governments mandated you take an experimental drug that was sold as a vaccine, but turns out it wasn't a vaccine for shit. And they forced you to take it, right? They tried in Germany to force you to take it. And if they couldn't get it done legally, they went to the businesses and they fear porned the businesses into saying, well, you know, shit, you got to get vaccinated to come in here. You know what I mean? This is crazy. And then on the back of that, they bankrupted people. People worked their whole lives to start a fucking business, a shop or something, or a restaurant. And that's how they earned their income. And the government, the supposed government that we supposedly run as the people, told those people, sorry if this makes you have to sell your house. Sorry if your fucking future is ruined. Sorry if you go into debt or have to declare bankruptcy, but you can't open your business because COVID and we say so. Dude, it is nuts that there's anybody left in any of these Western countries that thinks that we're a free society. In any one of them, we're not. It is nuts that there's still people out there promoting this system in any way. Oh, vote harder. Oh, vote more. Get more involved in politics. No, don't. For the last 10 years, I've been involved in politics way more than I ever have been in my whole life. Never used to interest me until Trump came on the scene. And then it became interesting, at least entertaining. And then I got into it. And that's what happened to like most of the people on the planet. They're into it. Don't support this system anymore. Come up with ideas, band together, come up with ideas to have a different system. This is nuts. This is nuts. So, after COVID was over, how many people that made the absolute wrong decisions, whether willingly or negligently, how many people in any one of these countries in the Western world ever got punished? Any consequences whatsoever? Anyone? No, I don't think so. I can't think of one. None. No consequences. We got politicians doing backroom deals with fucking pharma companies like Ursula von der Leyen, the Queen of Europe. The self-anointed Queen of Europe, by the way, because she was never voted for. Real democratic, right? But she does make the policy for every country in Europe. Oh, that's so democratic and we're so free. Oh my God, right? She did backroom fucking deals with Pfizer, with Albert Bourla, if I'm not mistaken, and there are no consequences for her. She was demanded to turn in her text messages with Albert Bourla so that an investigative team could investigate whether or not there was corruption involved in this. Oh, sorry, just like Hillary Clinton. Sorry, I mean, those texts are gone. My bad. No consequences, though. You know what I mean? And we're free. Why don't one of you guys that say how free you are, right? Why don't one of you motherfuckers try that if you ever get arrested and the cops say, or let's say sued, and you get an order from the court that says you have to preserve evidence, and you just fucking delete all that shit or smash your computers with a hammer, and when you go to court, the judge asks, okay, when the opposing party asks for the evidence and discovery, and you go, oh my dude, they're just gone, right? Let's see how far that gets you in your free country. Okay, Mr. Freedom or Mrs. Freedom. Let's see how far that goes. Huh? Look, guys, we're not free. I want to be free. I do. I live free. I live as free as I can, but that comes with great risk because I have to basically take every one of my freedoms that I want to use, and if I use them, I run the chance of getting in trouble. Some of those freedoms, the rulers don't consider legal. I don't care, right? I don't care because they don't make the rules for me, but that's putting me at risk, putting my family at risk. I shouldn't have to be put at risk to be free, right? But we are, which makes us inherently, just definitionally, not free. During COVID, they robbed children of their education. They robbed people of their existence by forcing them to close their businesses. Did they ever compensate to anybody out there from any country in the West? Anybody, please tell me if your country compensated the people that lost their businesses because of their fucking mistaken policies that they forced onto those people at the point of a gun or threat of fucking arrest and jail, imprisonment. Any country compensate anybody? Oh, I don't think so, huh? Those people are still broke. You know, in a free country that's democratically run, in which the people that you elect are actually looking out for your interests, in one of those countries, then if the leaders of the country made that big of a mistake that they bankrupted millions of people by forcing them to close their business, then when they find out that's the wrong thing to have done, they should compensate those people fully. Not a little bit, a couple $1,000. No. Make them whole. That's what you do if you're a benevolent ruler or leader. But no, these people are not benevolent. They're malevolent. They're malicious. And yet after all that, now we're down the road a couple years later, and the same people that were demanding their rights during COVID are still out there going, yep, we live in a democracy and we're free. And I mean, do you realize how ridiculous that actually sounds? And look, like I said, I'm guilty of the same thing. Up until about 5 minutes ago, I was also still on board with the idea that, well, maybe the reason that the political systems got so out of hand is because the people didn't get themselves involved in it. In a democracy, I guess everybody has to be involved, and the people just let it slide, and they gave all the power over time to these elected representatives, and that was a mistake. And maybe if everybody gets involved again, we can right that ship. But I see that that's not going to work, right? I see that that's not going to work. At least it's not going to work in America. You know, there's still a chance in Germany if the AfD ever gets power, which I hope they do. And the reason why there's still a chance, the AfD has never had federal political power before. So they've never got a chance to show if they can do it. I mean, I guess it is possible to turn a place around, right? Look at El Salvador with Bukele, and look at Argentina with Milei. They have been able to turn their countries around to the benefit of the citizens, which is at least something. Now, those people still aren't free. You know what I mean? So it's not good enough for me. But it shows that there is at least a possibility that in this system, it will go well for the people in the respective countries. But just that possibility is not enough for me. You only live once, and only for a short time. And I would like to have maximum enjoyment out of my time here. And I would like to have maximum freedom during my time here. And I don't want to wait fucking 100 years and 3,000 politicians later to get it. My fucking freedom shouldn't be contingent upon any sort of elected fucking goofball. You know what I mean? That's actually nuts. It's actually nuts. I know I'm contradicting myself. I know. But I've changed my mind. That's the way it is. I've changed my mind. I don't want... This system is utterly illegitimate. Especially because it claims to be something it is clearly not. And it doesn't matter if you're in America, in a European country. It doesn't matter. We're all living under tyrannies. The whole world. We're just living under different tyrants. That's it. That's the only difference. And we're just lucky that our tyrants haven't chosen to fucking put the boot down all the way like they have in some other countries. But all this bullshit about, well, the Constitution guarantees and God-given rights and blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm saying? No. There is no guarantee that will never happen. I can tell you right now that if in America the left gets back in power, that boot's going to come down hard. It's going to come down hard. The fascists that they claim everybody else is, that's them, people. It's actually them. And oh my God, if they get political power again, fucking watch the fuck out. Tyranny is coming. And there's nothing your Constitution or your fucking freedoms given by God are going to do for you there. You know what I mean? What's the solution, Rob? I don't know, man. You know what I'm saying? That's for y'all to figure out. I don't live there. You know what I'm saying? But I don't think it's going to go real well. I think the people are going to be put in a position in America that they're going to have to actually fight for their rights. And maybe you can get close to absolute freedom. But I don't think it's going to ever happen under this kind of system. And everybody out there who thinks you live in a democracy in which you have any power over any of these elites whatsoever, you're living in a fucking fantasy land. You're living in a place of what it should be rather than what it is. And I'm not willing to spend my whole fucking life waiting around for what isn't to turn into what should be and having that contingent upon the election of some fucking savior that may or may not do it when they get in power. That's where I'm at. And COVID should have proved that to everybody. And I can't believe that it didn't. So think about that. Please think about that. Again, my job is to radicalize y'all. Fuck this system.